his last 4 games, 44% from three-point range for Ian Miller and the Florida State Seminoles. C.J. Fair, the senior leader for this Orange team, which has run into a little bit of trouble here at the end of the season after starting out so strong, setting a school record, going to 25-0. The best start in school history, the longest winning streak in school history as well. And it all culminates here at the Tucker Center against Florida State. They meet for the first time as ACC opponents, have not played since '97. They played for the NIT at the Carrier Dome, and in that game it was Florida State getting the win 82-69. The Noles are in the white, Syracuse is in the orange, and we are underway on the ACC network.
Well, important to note again, Jeremy Grant is starting here today after missing the last game with a back problem for the Cuse. For Syracuse in its standard 2-3 zone, they're going to have to get to the shooters of a very good three-point shooting team here in Florida State.
Shot clock is down to 7. The runner from Ian Miller. Seminoles coming off their win at Boston College on Tuesday, 74-70. They shot 57% as a team in that game. And Syracuse, a loss Tuesday at home at the Dome against Georgia Tech, 67-62. But the Cuse ties it up early.
Well, that's an important basket, Tom. That's an easy basket, something Syracuse has not gotten many of here lately.
Christmas with the points for Syracuse. The opening moments as the smoke clears after that pregame ceremony for the seniors. And the announcing of the teams, a steal by Ennis. He's the best in the conference at that, over 2 per game for Tyler Ennis, the freshman from Canada.
Tom, that last defensive possession, Syracuse trapped the corner, surprised Florida State, created the turnover.
Syracuse trying to spark some momentum as it heads to the ACC tournament for the first time in history next week in Greensboro. C.J. Fair using the glass effectively.
Well, one of the best one-on-one players in all of college basketball. The left-hander going right. He can go either way.
Syracuse just 1-4 in its last 5 games. Conversely, Florida State has won 4 of its last 5, working on a 3-game winning streak. They tried to go up top, senior to senior, and they couldn't collaborate.
Well, here we see the Syracuse lob play on the backside. Florida State falls asleep, and here's the trap of the corner. Cooney comes over, the rotation, excellent rotation by Ennis, and here's where Syracuse is at their best, in transition.
This is Cooney, one of the best three-point shooters in the conference. His teammate Ennis misfires, and Carl White boxes out Grant for the rebound.
Quick shot, in my opinion, by Ennis. Another quick shot back here by Florida State. Both teams taking quick shots and neither making them.
A lot of excitement in the building leading up to this game. A lot of anticipation. Folks were in the parking lot outside the Tuck tailgating, Coach, like it was a football game. And we know how the football season turned out for Florida State.
I think we do know pretty well.
Jim Boeheim, the Hall of Fame coach, his numbers are simply staggering. 38th year on the bench, 946 career wins. It is the second most wins in Division I all time, behind another coach in this league, Mike Krzyzewski, with 981 after their win against North Carolina at Cameron Indoor Stadium yesterday. Leonard Hamilton is the head coach for Florida State in his 12th season. 8 straight postseason appearances, Coach. That includes 4 in a row in the NCAA tournament from 2009 to 2012. And they routinely win 22 games or more every year. This year so far they've won 18. Help from behind and a foul on the play as Brandon was trying to get to the rim.
Nice penetration off the ball screen versus the zone. The bounce pass, they get into the gap, draw and kick. Syracuse has got to do a better job, Tom, of guarding the ball on the perimeter. Once the ball penetrates the gap, it breaks down the zone defense.
So here is the sophomore from Greensboro, North Carolina, Monte Brandon. 64% from the line on the season for Brandon. He'll be going home next week as we look forward to the ACC tournament the 61st edition, and we are headed to Greensboro for that action.
It'll be exciting. You know, both Brandon and Miller are North Carolina natives. Leonard Hamilton, a Gastonia, North Carolina native, has a lot of good contacts in the Tar Heel State to recruit.
It should be awesome. 15 teams deep. An awkward move by Fair with the right ankle. Recovers from that, and it's stolen away momentarily, and Ennis recovered it, but it's over and back, and it'll go back to the Noles.
Well, good defense there. Fair on the crossover. The ball gets swatted away on the cross. Good defense here by Brandon. And a good call by the officials. A nice quick hand staying down low. Good on-ball defense by Florida State.
25 is Aaron Thomas. He is the leading scorer for this Florida State team. Akaro White used the entire rim, and it spins off, and it's run down by Cooney in the corner. Maybe deserved a better fate after all that effort for Akaro White. Fair. Ennis. 3-ball for the Cuse.
They go to double Fair on the dribble penetration. Kick out to the open Ennis. Nice play by Fair. Unselfish.
Tyler Ennis, who has started every game as a freshman for Jim Boeheim, running the point. Up and under move. Aaron Thomas wouldn't go. Ball bounces around. Syracuse cannot save it. It is Florida State basketball.
So far, attacking the zone is an obvious offensive emphasis by Leonard Hamilton, Tom. They are ball screening the zone more than I've seen any team ball screen a zone in any game I've watched this year. The bigs of Florida State coming out, setting ball screens, going left and right. Here, number 10, Carol White, ball screen.
Miller. Christmas comes down with it for Syracuse. Grant spinning, but he traveled. So the Orange out to a 7. Raycom Sports. Ruby Tuesday takes us around the ACC to check in on conference action, and Virginia rebounded a missed free throw in the final seconds of that game. A putback to tie it, and now they're in overtime with Maryland, Boston College, and NC State coming up later, Coach.
Coach's nightmare, Tom, not being able to secure a defensive rebound on a missed free throw.
In our game, the Orange out to a 5-point lead. Don't forget, the tournament next week starts Wednesday in Greensboro, and you can see all 14 games of action on the ACC network. Wall-to-wall basketball in Tournament Town, Greensboro, North Carolina, at the Greensboro Coliseum. It's all on the ACC network. Today, it's Syracuse and Florida State for the first time as members of the Atlantic Coast Conference. White in a congested area. It doesn't stop him, and he has a chance at a three-point play.
Boy, is that good zone offense. There were 3 separate ball screens set on this play, and the penetration and the step in. It was a high-low play versus the zone. Syracuse asleep in the middle, and White completes. Excellent offensive possession by the Seminoles.
Akaro White, one of the seniors, honored before this game with Kyle Turpin, Robert Gilchrist, and Ian Miller. Normally a pretty solid free throw shooter at 79% on the season for the senior from Clearwater, Florida.
Syracuse, one of the best passing teams in the conference, already with 4 turnovers. Very uncharacteristic of the Cuse.
Another miss. Cooney's able to run it down in a fresh shot clock. Grant trying to get by 2 defenders, and he's got a chance at a 3-point play of his own. Jeremy Grant.
Well, that play right there shows you what Syracuse misses. If Grant is not healthy, he just drives the ball to his left hand and powers it through 2 defenders from Florida State. This young man, very, very athletic around the basket, has a good mid-range game, is getting better each and every time he takes the court.
Jeremy Grant did not play in the loss at Boston College on Tuesday with a strained back. Limited minutes in the games prior to that as well. And Syracuse gets the 3-point play from Jeremy Grant.
Syracuse really extends their wings out in the 2-3 zone. trying to match up with shooters.
One of the big reasons Florida State has gone on a 3-game winning streak, they've been shooting 50% from the floor. And as Coach mentioned at the top of the broadcast, 42% from three-point range for the Seminoles, who wind the clock down to 8. Thomas gets the bucket.
So far, you've got to really like the Florida State zone offense. Getting good looks, penetrating the Syracuse zone.
Ennis kicks it out. Queta kept it alive on the weak side. Michael Benajay, number 0, has come in for Syracuse. Along with Musa Queta as well. Grant so close to the rim, but it bounced off. Alley-oop. Miller to Thomas for 2.
Well, great look by Ian Miller. Thomas runs the court. Miller has his head up, eyes up, makes a really good pass above the rim to Thomas.
4 points now for Aaron Thomas. And a 2-point game. A driving Tyler Ennis with 2 for the Orange. Now with 5 to go along with his 3-point basket of the first half. Florida State, after starting slowly, has made its last 3 shots and will earn some free throws here for Carl White.
Well, Florida State getting good looks. They move the ball around. There's the ball screen to break the zone down, the penetration. Always having a man low on the baseline, and there's the alley-oop behind the Syracuse zone. Again, Syracuse's wings do extend out very high in the 2-3 zone, and sometimes you can get behind that zone with an alley-oop pass.
What a career it has been for Carl White. Substitution for Florida State. Devin Booker comes in. Ian Miller will have a seat. We'll see what he's done in the last 8 games. So solid from the line. 87% coming in, and now he's 2 of 3 from the free throw line in the game. This is his 133rd game played in a Knowles uniform. That is every game of his career for Carl White.
Pretty darn impressive, Tom. And he's gotten better every year, too, which is one of the things I always look at when evaluating a player. Now, this is a very good Florida State man-to-man defense. They're second in the league field goal percent defense, tied for first in the three-point defense.
Grant against 3 defenders was able to get the shot away. That is off of Syracuse and back to Florida State.
You know, Tom, we have 2 of the most athletic teams in the league here, and it's interesting to see how much play above the rim is going on, and I think Syracuse is a little surprised at the athleticism of Florida State.
5th turnover of the game for Syracuse. Boris Bojanovsky, 7'3", number 15 for Florida State, is in there as well down low. Trying to get the entry. Bojanovsky turns and misses. Foul called on the play as Syracuse was trying to get possession. Hey fans, check out the ACC Fan Fest at the tournament located just outside the Greensboro Coliseum. The main entrance at the Coliseum. Enjoy live entertainment, games, giveaways, mascots, and former player appearances. Fun for the entire family, and it's all for free. Fan Fest open 2 hours prior to each tournament session. Don't miss out. If you cannot make it to Greensboro, the ACC Network is the place to be. 15 teams, 14 games, 1 champion in the Atlantic Coast Conference. And you can see it all on the ACC Network. Wrestled away by Florida State. Heads up for Monte Brandon. Quick pass to White. Blocked by Queta. Bojanovsky dives to the floor. 3 players on the deck. And a held ball situation will secure that number 2 seed at the tournament in Greensboro next week.
Well, that's correct, Tom. And for these 4 teams, they've earned the right to have a double bye and don't play for 2 rounds, and that's a big advantage for those 4 outstanding teams.
And keep in mind, Maryland has beaten number 5 Virginia in overtime, 75-69 as well, to add a little more drama to those 14 games in Greensboro next week. Those top 4 seeds get a double bye, do not have to play until Friday. The first day of the tournament is on Wednesday at the Greensboro Coliseum. Bojanovsky, Booker trying to save the touchdown pass, and Akara White will bend the rim with 2 hands.
Well, Tom, the problem was Ennis penetrates and nobody rotates back as Ennis almost goes to, he does go to rebound the ball, so nobody rotates back for defensive balance. The run out and the excellent pass by Devin Booker to White for the flush. A nice outlet pass after nobody gets back for the Cuse.
What a sequence.
Very skilled, by the way. Excuse me, Tom.
What a sequence for Florida State. Looked like Jameis Winston on that pass from underneath his own basket up ahead to his teammates. Rattles out for the Orange. Brandon, difficult move.
I'll add on bad shot to the difficult move. Don't know what Brandon was thinking on that particular possession.
Florida State has taken the lead, 13-12. Grant trying to back his way down, and he does so against White and Bojanovsky coming with the help.
And those are the type of shots and execution on the offensive end you need if you're Syracuse. They get it into Grant at the medium post. Shows his athleticism and skill level to score. Very good three-point shooting team on the court for the Seminoles, extending the Cuse zone out. Good pass.
White for 3, right on cue, coach, for the second best three-point shooting team in the ACC.
Well, Boris Bojakowski is a very good passer. They get it into the 7-3 man, not looking to score. He's looking to pass. He kicks it out to White for the 3.
Akara White with just his 17th 3 of the season, but he shoots a solid 31% from beyond the arc on the year for Florida State. A couple of great assists so far for Boris Bojanovsky, the sophomore from the Slovak Republic, and a foul on the drive for the Orange. Well, Haviland and the ACC Network are giving you a chance to pick this year's All-ACC men's basketball first and second teams. Don't miss your chance to cast votes for your favorite players at the ACC.com/fanvote and enter your chance to win a VIP trip to the ACC tournament. Compliments of Haviland.
Here's a young man, Tom, just had 2 assists in the last 2 possessions for 5 points. 7-3, skilled and a very good passer. The outlet pass for the breakaway and then the pass back out to White. The other nice thing about Bojanowski is he's a 7-3 target versus the zone. Florida State can virtually throw the ball into him on any possession.
They had to remove Bojanowski, though, as Christmas comes in for Syracuse. Keita comes out. Bojanowski picked up his second personal foul and is now on the bench for Florida State. That'll be 1 of 2 from the line for Grant. That is off of C.J. Fair. Noles basketball. Nine minutes, 20 seconds to go in the first half. Tom Worley, Eddie Fogler, and our outstanding ACC Network production crew. There's a 3 from Booker off the side of the rim. So glad that you have joined us for action in the ACC on a Sunday afternoon as we wrap up the regular season. Syracuse, one of the fine additions to the ACC this year. 15 teams strong with the additions of Pittsburgh, Syracuse, and Notre Dame. That's a foul against Florida State. Grant. Wrapped up by White. Hill ball, and the Seminoles will get it.
Now that was a big-time play, both offensively and defensively. Big-time crossover here by Grant. Through the legs, taking it to the hole. and White just gobbles it up. Athlete on athlete, pretty darn impressive both ways.
That right there is a senior playing his final game at the Tuck in an Knowles uniform. He's already got double figures in scoring with 10. He leads everybody at that figure. 21st time this season that a Carl White has achieved double figures in scoring.
And Michael Ojo gets carried away, posting up at the low post. He wraps the Syracuse defender. Foul on Ojo. That's the same thing, Tom, as just taking the ball and throwing it out of bounds. Not a very smart play by the big guy.
Ojo goes 7'1", 292 from Nigeria, but he will take his extremely large frame to the bench and get a breather. And maybe a couple of words of encouragement from Leonard Hamilton as well.
Yeah, like, what are you doing?
This is Fair. The old school skyhook from Fair, and he got fouled. So C.J. Fair to the free throw line for Syracuse for the first time in the game for Fair. Shoots 71% from the line. Closed captioning for ACC basketball is provided by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time. The 6'8" senior from Baltimore, Maryland. Couple of free throws for C.J. Fair.
I believe Carmelo Anthony from Baltimore. Pretty good player for the Cuse, and of course, great player in the NBA for the New York Knicks.
Led this program to the national championship in 2003 when it defeated Kansas 81-78. Carmelo Anthony with 20 points in that title game. Fight on the rim, and Carl White wins it.
Well, but give Smith credit. He kept it alive on the offensive board. Darquez Smith keeps it alive, and the active Smith around the basket.
12 points in the paint now to 6 for Syracuse, the lead for Florida State. And most of that effort coming from a Carl White, number 10 for the Seminoles. We get a foul coming up on Florida State. We'll check it. It is a
official supermarket of the ACC. And by Hyundai.
Just before we went away for break, Darquez Smith picked up his second personal foul. But what a day Carl White is having, Coach. On senior day, he scored the last 10 points for Florida State.
Well, sometimes you can get too high and try too hard and not play well. This young man is dialed in, as you indicate. 10 points the last 10 times. He already has 12 points and 4 rebounds here in the first 12 and a half minutes of play.
Christmas is at the line for Syracuse. He shoots 71% on the season from the line. Carl White so far, 4 of 7 from the floor. The rest of the team is 3 of 9.
Tom, I'm a little surprised that Jim Boeheim hasn't trapped more out of his zone. One quick trap early in the game, got a steal, have not shown the trapping defenses out of the 2-3, which is in their repertoire.
Florida State started 1 for 5 from the floor. Since then, 6 of 11. They trail by 1 to the Cuse, 19-18. Just over 7 minutes to go in the first half. That's going to stay at this end of the floor with the Knowles.
Well, there's the trap on the baseline drive, which is a great place to trap it. Florida State doing a great job with their bigs. They're not having their bigs handle. They're having their bigs ball screen the zone.
Brandon, difficult leaner. There was contact. Christmas came away with it. If Syracuse can secure a win today, it would earn the number 2 seed at the tournament next week. This is Cooney.
Well, that could be a very big basket. Cooney had only taken 1 shot. Prior to that shot, he knocks one down. Syracuse needs his 3-point shooting. Ian Miller doing a great job away from the ball, guarding Cooney, keeping him from getting looks.
Cooney, who has made 83 3-point baskets on the season, high off the glass for Ian Miller.
Well, that was nice. That was floated up there, wasn't it? Good touch.
Senior from Charlotte, North Carolina. This is a huge game for the resume of Florida State as well. Right on the cusp of being involved in the big dance. If they can get a win against the Orange, it would improve their standing considerably, and this ball will go back to Florida State.
Some guys, Tom, have good mid-range game, and some guys can make tough layups. That is a tough layup. Crossover, gets to the basket, beats Ennis off the dribble and gets it up over Christmas. Syracuse not guarding the ball very well in their 2-3 zone. Man or zone, you got to guard the ball to be an effective defense.
And Christmas is a guy, Coach, who averages almost 2 blocks per game, 3rd best in the ACC. And Miller was able to go over him.
Bad shot by Miller there, too quick.
Cooney from the hot corner for 3. Not this time.
I bet you everybody in the Syracuse bench wanted that one to go down.
Oh, Miller made his way to the rim, and Christmas came out of nowhere. 2-on-2. Ennis will do it himself for the Orange. I don't think Christmas was all that pleased with the last play where Miller lofted it over him, and he came for the help and swatted that basketball.
That's a 4-point block. One of the best shot blockers in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Thomas. Christmas got a piece of that one as well, and it is off of Aaron Thomas.
Well, Christmas not a big scorer for the Cuse, but he can certainly bother shots. He takes away a layup from Miller, swats it, keeps it alive. It goes off the board. Syracuse on the run, and Ennis just measures the defense, measures White, makes the right decision and scores.
3 blocks for the Orange. 2 in the last minute or so by that man, Rakeem Christmas. Junior from Philadelphia for Coach Jim Boeheim, who has taken this program to 5 straight NCAA tournaments. It is a virtual lock that they will again be involved in the postseason in the NCAA tournament. Booker dribbled into a double team. C.J. Fair went to the deck to get it for the Orange. Cooney open for 3. And another misfire.
Jim Boeheim just shaking his head. That's 8 or 9 out of 10 for Cooney in a shooting drill. That exact shot, just struggling shooting the basketball the last 5 or 6 games. Trevor Cooney, and a great shooter.
Cooney made 9 3-pointers, a school record in a win against Notre Dame, where he had a career-high 33 points. That was right on the heels of that overtime win against Duke at the Carrier Dome in the first meeting between the teams. Thomas rises. Jarquez Smith could not hang on to it for Florida State.
I'll tell you, if you're playing in the front court of this game, you better be a man and you better be an athlete. These dudes are getting up. It's quick stuff right here now.
Well, these student athletes have come to play on a Sunday afternoon. They are giving us a show thus far on the ACC network.
Gilchrist just bodying up Fair, won't let him catch it. Ennis resetting. Syracuse are a really good one-on-one basketball team. They put their players in position to use their talents to score.
Ennis with the shot clock at 7. Fair must recognize. 3-pointer. And he beat the shot clock.
Well, that's not the way Coach Boeheim draws it up. Only a 27% 3-point shooter knocks one down as the clock runs down.
23rd made 3 of the season for C.J. Fair, who had no other choice. He's got 7 points to lead the way for the Orange in the first 20 minutes. Largest lead for Syracuse at 6. Knowles trying to cut into that with Booker. Twisting out of control, and now back up to Ennis. Floats to the rim. Soft touch.
Boy, that's good stuff right there. Great pace, change of direction, head up. Tyler Ennis can do a lot with the basketball when he has it in the middle of the court and on the break for the Cuse.
Leonard Hamilton's team has missed its last 5 field goal attempts, and now the lead is 8 for Syracuse, 28-20, and just over 3 minutes to go in a very entertaining first half of basketball.
Here's Ennis just measuring the defense, makes the right decision. Great, almost a 3-to-1 assist-error ratio, leads the ACC in assists. Only a freshman from Canada, plays well beyond his years. Looks like a veteran. Nice kick out by Fair to Ennis. Very unselfish play there. The floater going left. And here we see the Cuse blocking it, and he's already measuring the defense here. Tom knows where everybody is, quite afraid to foul, and he gets it to the rim and scores.
Eddie, as the former head coach at South Carolina, an assistant at North Carolina, a player at North Carolina, you have to love what Tyler Ennis has done in his first season in an orange uniform.
Well, it's really astounding to show that the poison and the feel for the game that this young man has, Tom. And you can't be a great basketball team unless you have a great point guard, and Syracuse has one in the young Ennis.
Syracuse is on a 14-4 run over the last 7 minutes, and now they turn over the Noles. It's a 2-on-1. It's Ennis. Basket and foul.
Well, Tyler Ennis on the fast break is as good as any point guard in the country. He's not the fastest or the quickest, but he has probably the best decision-making of anybody. And the steals by Syracuse now gets a team that is struggling to score in the half court in the open court, Tom. And easy baskets for Syracuse can only build their confidence as this game moves forward and for the rest of the season.
So far in the game for Tyler Ennis, 11 points. He is 5 of 8 from the floor. This is his first free throw of the afternoon. 74% of the season for the freshman from Brampton, Ontario, Canada. Don't forget, next Wednesday, both of these teams will be there. All 15 teams, all 14 games. You can see it on the ACC network. The ACC tournament bigger and better than ever. 15 teams deep at the Greensboro Coliseum next Wednesday. Fair made contact with White. First on C.J. Fair. Florida State shooting 35% in the game so far on senior day. Normally they shoot 47% as a team, which is best in the ACC. Thomas on the baseline. Acceleration to the rim.
Jim Boeheim upset. A drive of the baseline has to put the driver into another defender for Syracuse, but not on that possession. Easy basket. Way too easy versus the zone.
6 points now for Aaron Thomas. 6 for Ian Miller. But Carl White leads the way for the Noles with 12. This is Fair. Got it to Christmas. May have been altered by Smith. Goes out of bounds and will stay with the orange. Shot clock is down to 7. Ennis took a glance at it, and he pushed off.
Good call.
Today's coverage of ACC basketball is being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the nearly 1 million men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces stationed around the globe in 175 countries and on the high seas. We're so proud to have you with us and hope you're enjoying the broadcast. And we certainly salute all of the women and men throughout the world defending freedom under the colors of the United States.
Florida State only 1 of 5 from 3. A really good three-point shooting team having trouble getting good looks. And Ian Miller, that is a tough shot, but he knocks it down. The Seminoles are going to need more of those type of opportunities.
Coach, what do you give him, about 25 feet away on that one?
And a hand in his face by Cooney.
Wow. Ian Miller's second 3 of the game, and they both come from seniors, Miller and White. Benege driving baseline. Jarquez Smith met him, but there was contact in midair and a foul against number 5.
Well, again, here's the penetration from Thomas. You can see Cooney's out there, but he decides to take a deep 3. Ian Miller, a very good three-point shooter, 40%, tied for number 1 in the Atlantic Coast Conference from three-point range.
Michael Benege, sophomore from Richmond, Virginia, is at the line for the orange. Now one of the seniors, Robert Gilchrist, will come in. He's a senior from London, England. Second year in the Florida State program. Benajay tapped to his teammate Christmas. Inside of a minute to go in the first half. A rapid first half of play between the Orange and the Noles. Fair looking for a crease. Uses the glass. Bounces around right to Benajay. Ennis. Benajay stolen. Rolls out of bounds in front of that Florida State bench area and back to Syracuse.
Unbelievable. 2 offensive rebounds by Syracuse, and here a steal by Florida State. They lose it. This is the 4th opportunity for a 4th time Syracuse has a chance to score. 36.8 seconds left in the half. 28 seconds on the shot clock. Tom, Jim Boeheim taking a timeout.
Orange up by 6, 36.8 seconds to go from the Tucker Center of the first half. The ACC tournament at the Greensboro Coliseum, just 3 days away, and the ACC Network is when you can watch all 14 games. Syracuse, Pittsburgh, and Notre Dame making their first appearance at the tournament. Miami looks to defend its title. We begin coverage Wednesday, 1 o'clock. Take you all the way to the championship game on Sunday. For more information on the tournament, go to theacc.com. And this is the way the bracket would look if we started right now, keeping in mind Virginia has lost already today, but has secured the #1 seed along with Syracuse, Duke, and North Carolina. They have those top 4 seeds, Coach.
Well, again, a great advantage with the double bye, and those brackets, there can be some very competitive games in the first round. This is going to be a great ACC tournament. I look forward to seeing it.
Again, you can see each and every game, every second of action on the ACC Network from the Greensboro Coliseum. They call it Tournament Town. They call it that for a reason. The winner of the tournament earning the automatic bid to the ACC tournament. Will be interesting to see how many teams in the ACC are selected to participate in the NCAA tournament after the completion.
Well, Thomas face guarding here on Ennis. You know they're going to try to score with the ball in Ennis's hands. There it is, and watch the high post screen.
Shot clock to 8. Ennis. Christmas with the rim bender.
Well, and the clock's plenty of time left. Florida State taking too much time. Still have an opportunity, however.
Final 5 seconds. Miller dancing. Followed by White. It's going to count. Akara White finishing. C.J. Fair, the senior, for the Orange, Coach.
Well, only 5 attempts, Tom. The 1 3-pointer was a kind of a lucky one, so to speak. Clock was running down. He needs more touches, more opportunities for the Cuse in the second half. Akara White now, he's been spectacular. 5 of 8 from the floor. He hit a 3. You can see his buckets around the rim. No, number of those, 2 of those are offensive rebounds. He is off to a great start. 6 rebounds, 14 points for White.
We told you about Jeremy Grant, who has had some back issues. Just moments ago, he was trying to stretch it out prior to the start of the second half at midcourt here at the Tucker Center. Jeremy Grant in the first half had 6 points and 4 rebounds and will be out there to get things going for Syracuse and Florida State in the second half. Carl White has another rebound. This is senior day for 4 Florida State players. White is one of them, along with Kyle Turpin, Robert Gilchrist, and Ian Miller. Thomas off the glass.
Jim Boeheim throws his arms up in the air. Can't understand how you can drive the wing of the zone and get a pretty simple bank. Syracuse zone's giving up too much penetration. Now one team, Tom, playing all zone, one team playing all man-to-man.
That is fair.
And that is good. He catches it, he stutters, he freezes the defense. You got to play the drive left or right. He just pulls it back and knocks it in.
9 points now for C.J. Fair, almost 1,500 points in his career in an orange uniform. Averages close to 17 to lead the club. White couldn't finish the alley-oop. Cooney tries to run it down, does keep it alive for the Orange. Saw Jim Boeheim standing behind his players telling him to slow it down. C.J. Fair is going to speed it up. A couple of straight jumpers from number 5.
Well, that one he puts it down a dribble or two and freezes the defense. Excellent one-on-one player, Fair. Again, can go left, can go right, can finish at the rim, can pull up, can shoot it standing still. A good timeout here by Leonard Hamilton.
Team strong, and that includes the Syracuse Orange and all the tradition and success that Jim Boeheim and the Orange bring to the fabric of the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Well, that's pretty impressive trio right there. Syracuse, a perennial outstanding team, NCAA. Pitt under Jamie Dixon, NCAA, Notre Dame national brand, and there's a Hall of Famer. Unbelievable. I don't know where he gets the energy, quite frankly, to be coaching.
It's amazing. 36 times, Coach, he has taken them to the NCAA tournament, to the postseason. 37 winning seasons. Bojanowski on the follow.
Well, Bojanowski only played 7 minutes in the first half, picked up 2 quick fouls, had 2 assists. He was a big factor passing the ball. That time he gets on the offensive board for the easy tip.
And his first points of the afternoon. Lorenz has 12 points to lead the way. And now C.J. Fair, the senior, has 13, so he is the leading scorer for Syracuse, and he is having quite a second half for the opening moments. 6 points in the second half already for C.J. Fair. Bojanowski just barely spins off. A couple of free throws coming for Bojanowski.
Well, Fair gets open. He can score the ball one-on-one. Driving it right. Acrobatic off the board. Stands still, freezes the defense. Another part of his game. One dribble right, pull up. Doesn't matter. Give Ennis credit, though, Tom, in that last bucket. He brought the defense to him, made the easy pass to Fair. Big fella making an impact here for sure for Florida State.
4 points now for Bojanowski, all in the second half. As Coach mentioned, he picked up a couple of quick fouls in the first half and had to leave. Christmas trying to get position against Bojanowski. Grant slipped in there somehow and lays it up and in. The back looks pretty good.
Well, and give the leader an assist in the ACC another assist. Those last 2 baskets all directly related to Tyler Ennis's ability to see the court and make the easy play.
Seminoles are working on a 3-game winning streak. Miller pulls up. Measures the floater. Ian Miller now with 11 points. 19th time this season. And now 6 of the last 7 games to double figures for the senior from Charlotte, North Carolina, Ian Miller. Grant steps into a jumper. Christmas snatches it out of the air and returns it to the bucket.
Well, Christmas not a big scorer, shot blocker, offensive rebounder, knows where the ball's coming off, good savvy rebounding it.
Brandon grabbed it. Took the route right back to the basket, denied by the Orange, tipped out of bounds. And it will be Syracuse basketball. Rakeem Christmas. Fast analysis.
Well, Tyler Ennis for Syracuse, the ability to make the tough layups, the anticipation on the fast break. Tom, head up, eyes up all the time, knows where the other 9 players are. And then the pick and roll, head up, eyes up. He can see Grant free, makes the simple, easy pass. One heck of a player. I love the way he directs and leads his team.
Leading the ACC in assists and steals. He's got 3 assists in our game today, 12 points and 5 of 9 from the floor. Misses that attempt. Christmas got it back. Ennis reloads. Wojnarowski the outlet to Miller. Miller, second effort, White. First points of the second half for Carl White, and now with 16 to lead all scorers.
Ian Miller just fighting over screens on Cooney.
Fair spins it in.
Set play. Jim Boeheim runs a set play for Cooney to come off a single or the double. On the other side gets a look, but Florida State falls asleep on the weak side box outs.
C.J. Fair is now 4 for 4 shooting in the second half. After going 2 for 5 in the first half, Ian Miller held the finish for 3 for the Noles. Second 3 of the game for Miller, and it's a 5-point game. C.J. Fair has the answer for the Orange. Hasn't missed in the second half, 5 for 5.
Really good offensive concepts that Jim Boeheim runs for Fair along the baseline. Basically a clear out's on the wing. They clear it out for him, and they let him go to work with his one-on-one ability.
Rakeem Christmas has picked up his 4th personal foul to put Aaron Thomas at the free throw line for the Seminoles. Closed captioning for ACC basketball is provided by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's Bo time. Aaron Thomas, the sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio. These his first free throws of the ball game. And into double figures now with 10 for Thomas. 11th straight game. Aaron Thomas into double figures for Leonard Hamilton and the Noles. Fair. First miss of the second half. Thomas stolen by Fair. Ennis. Finish. Couldn't finish with Wojnarowski in his grill. Thomas. End-to-end action and a foul on the drive by Thomas, and he's going back to the free throw line for the Seminoles.
That was an interesting flurry there, to say the least. On the break, Ennis makes the right pass, but the block by Wojnarowski. Now they come back the other way.
Musakeda now has 3 personal fouls.
Big fella been a big factor here today, and he is all of 7-3. If he gets a little stronger, watch out.
Had a 7-block game, a key win earlier this season for Florida State against UMass. As Benajay and Boeheim chat about it, and the crowd rises to its feet in Tallahassee. Traveling against the Orange. Syracuse has taken a timeout. This is the closest Florida State has been in the second half, as Syracuse had a 6-point halftime lead. The official ACC mobile app presented by Outback Steakhouse offers live ACC network games, videos, scores, stats, and news. Visit acc.com/apps to download, and be sure to check out the basketball championship pages where you can enter to win Outback dinner packages for a year. 2 lucky fans will be awarded today, so download the app and enter now. The Seminoles have come all the way back to cut it to 3.
Good patience here. Ball screen now by Wojnarowski. Right there on Cooney. Cooney does not get over the screen. And a really good three-point shooter gets a good look. The senior from Charlotte, Ian Miller.
The senior on senior day now with 137 made threes in his career. That is 9th best in Florida State school history. A lot of emotion and energy in the building today. Started beforehand when the four seniors, White, Turpin, Gilchrist, and Miller, were honored prior to the game. Booker, White baseline. A one-point game at the top. Grant gets it back. And he got fouled as he tried to pass it back to Cooney.
Carl White posting up in traffic, using his strength to pitch out, and a nice pass back at Booker for the flush.
18 points for a Carl White. Leads all scorers. Cooney pulls the trigger. Knocked around out of bounds and to the Syracuse Orange with just over 12 minutes to go in the game.
Trevor Cooney still struggling to score for Syracuse. That was a poor shot. Maybe now trying too hard. 1 of 5 here today.
Fair. Offensive foul against Fair. Florida State basketball with a chance to take the lead. It has not led since a one-point advantage, 18-17 in the first half. At the 7:53 mark. Ian Miller. Scrap for the loose ball and won by Syracuse. We know Miller has range.
That was another State, though. That was too far out.
That may have tested it right there. Cooney. That's the three. Trevor Cooney.
Boy, a lot of size over there on the Syracuse bench. Long time coming for Cooney. They really do struggle in the half court if Cooney doesn't give them the three-point ball or the option of it.
He's the guy who leads the conference in threes made per game, close to 3 made three-pointers a game for Cooney, but it appears he has picked up the foul. And it is the first on Cooney, but he does have a three-pointer, and it's a 4-point advantage for the Cuse. To go, certainly a very special day for the seniors in this Florida State program as they were honored prior to the game. Those framed jerseys as well for a Carl White and Ian Miller, along with Robert Gilchrist and Kyle Turpin also. But what great days so far for White and Miller. They have now combined, coach, for 30 points on the afternoon. Florida State basketball. Sent into the backcourt. This is Miller.
Florida State, Florida State has showed very good poise in the second half. First the zone.
Working that shot clock down to 10. Miller had it stripped away. Cooney waits for reinforcements. Now makes his way to the basket. Challenges Bojanovsky. Ball out of bounds. Syracuse basketball.
I'm not sure what Trevor Cooney was trying to do, challenging the 7-3 guy. I will say this, Cooney got over the ball screen in the 2-3 defense last time, so there was no three-point shot for Florida State.
That was 6'4" Cooney going against 7'3" Bojanovsky. Now he extends the range and knocks down another three for the Orange. Second of the second half for Cooney.
Well, a shooter that good, Tom, will not be in a slump all year long, so to speak, or even over the last 10 games. It's sooner or later he will begin to make them again.
Miller, Bojanovsky, blocked by Fair on the way by. Ennis trying to get it back from Bookert. Going back to Florida State.
Well, that's the first, I think, poor decision Tyler Ennis has made in transition.
Yeah. Syracuse is on a 6-0 run. Just moments ago, it was 47-46 Orange. Again, that shot clock winds to 10. Bojanovsky, they were looking for the alley-oop. Carl White was trying to save it. It'll be off of the Orange and stay with the Noles.
Well, that lob is there. The Syracuse zone, the three along the baseline do extend out higher than most 2-3 zones, so that lob can be there.
Thomas. So Florida State had cut the lead to 1. Trevor Cooney's made a couple of threes. Another 3-ball. Does not get the bounce. Fair gets the ball, sends it back to Ennis. Right down Broadway. And the dish to Grant, fouled by Bojanovsky.
Tom, that whole possession starter, Jim Boeheim called a set play for Cooney to shoot the jumper, but they get the offensive rebound and the nice pass by Ennis as he brings the defense to him and dishes it off. But again, Cooney makes a three. Boeheim comes back with a set play on the baseline. He gets another decent look. It rims out, but Syracuse on the offensive boards to recover.
30 times he's taken this program to the NCAA tournament. 26-4 on the season, 13-4 in conference play for Syracuse. 9 points now for Jeremy Grant. Just a little bit below his average of 12 per game. He is the leading rebounder for Syracuse, averaging 7 per game. White gets in. Bojanovsky blocked by Fair. White again got fouled, didn't get the roll, but will get a couple of free throws. By Musakeda got the foul. The 2014 ACC Men's Basketball Tournament opening day presented by Food Lion is March 12th. Catch a triple header of basketball, a performance by country music artist Scotty McCreery, former player appearances, and much more. Visit theacc.com today to learn more and get your tickets for opening day presented by Food Lion. That now 19 points for a Carl White. So gave him 20 points, 10 rebounds, and his 9th double-double of his career on senior day in Tallahassee.
Pretty darn impressive, and we still have 8:30 to play in this ball game.
Cooney has started to heat up from three-point range, missed his last two. Cada couldn't jam it. Florida State basketball. Miller trying to knife his way. Saved by Booker. Thomas, 3. Tapped by White, no good. Ennis, fouled by Booker.
That's where Syracuse is out at its best. They were able to get it out and run. This is Syracuse basketball. This makes their defense better, Tom. Not just their offense, it just perks them up, gives them a lot more oomph and confidence to play.
Tyler Ennis at the free throw line. The Syracuse team just 1-4 in its last 5 games. That win coming at Maryland as Brandon comes in for Florida State. Tyler Ennis in that game at Pittsburgh, coach, on February 12th. Hit that shot from beyond midcourt. And Syracuse won that game against Pittsburgh 58-56. These two teams will make their way to Greensboro next week, along with the rest of the Atlantic Coast Conference, 15 teams deep, and you can see every game, all 14 of them, all the way to that Sunday championship here on the ACC network. We are completing the regular season in the ACC. This is the second to last game of the season on that ACC schedule.
Good defense here by Syracuse. Florida State having a hard time penetrating the zone.
Booker. Stuffed by Ennis. Tried to shovel it ahead to Cooney and stolen back. Thomas aggressive to the rim. Tried to jam it and it bounced out. Grant is up ahead. Two players got back for Florida State, but Grant is going to have a chance at a three-point play. 11 points. Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. 2014 ACC Legends will be honored at this year's basketball tournament in Greensboro. The Women's Legends Lunch will be held on Saturday, March 8th, while the Men's Legends Brunch will be held on Saturday, March 15th. For tickets and more information on this year's Legends, visit theacc.com and search Legends. So the women honored their legends yesterday. And then next Saturday, it'll be the men who will honor their ACC legends. So Jeremy Grant's going to be at the free throw line. C.J. Fair, 17 points for the senior. Syracuse has gone on an 11-2 run after Florida State had cut it to 47-46. And that's a three-point play for Jeremy Grant now with 12 points.
And this is being done by Syracuse, Tom, with Christmas on the bench with 4 fouls. He hasn't been out here for at least the last 5 minutes.
Florida State has missed its last 8 shots. Booker puts an end to that with a 3-ball.
Well, Booker, who's a very good shooter, 0 for 2 before he knocks that big 3 down. Clear out for Grant.
Those are the first points of the game for Booker, who was one of the best from beyond the arc in ACC play, 48%. This is Fair rising and scoring.
Wow. Thomas just throws his hands up in the air, goes, what are you doing? That does as good as I could guard him.
That is now 19 points for C.J. Fair, coming off a 28-point performance in the loss at home against Georgia Tech on Tuesday, which tied his career high, and now he makes the play at the defensive end.
There's the double team on the sideline, a surprise double team. And again, Florida State, not a particularly good passing, ball handling team, very error prone. C.J.
Fair set that career high with 28 points in the overtime win against Duke at the Carrier Dome earlier this season, a game that set the on-campus attendance record. Well over 35,000 people there, and here comes Jeremy Grant to slam it through. Bojanovsky had to drop it off to White. Booker in traffic. Bojanovsky was fouled as Grant challenged him.
Syracuse extremely athletic. Off the penetration, Grant working the weak side. Comes in, no box out by White. No box out. And a very athletic young man. You could see the whole play coming, sizes up the drive, knows where the ball's coming off, and just uses his quickness and elevation for the easy flush.
Ian Miller is on that bench for Florida State with 14 points. Bojanovsky at the free throw line. Three of 3 so far from the line for Bojanovsky. sophomore from the Slovak Republic. So it's an 11-point Syracuse lead. Fair. Ennis. Well, C.J. Fair has had an outstanding afternoon, coach, with 19 points, but 12 in the second half.
Well, Syracuse does a great job of getting him one-on-one. These are pretty much all isolation, one-on-one. And one-on-one, his repertoire offensively, there's nothing he can't do. Extremely difficult to guard. And then you forget he's 6'8", Tom. There's very few perimeter players 6'8" that can stay close with him. If you put a little, he posts up. If you put a big, he goes to the outside and drives him or shoots over him.
Fair is 5 of 7 from the floor in the second half for 12 points and 19 in total. For the senior from Baltimore, Maryland.
So now the zone becomes effective because the zone slows the offense down. And with an 11-point lead, 5 minutes to go, that bodes well for Syracuse.
The Orange has led the entire way in the second half after building a 6-point halftime lead, 33-27. Florida State cut it to 1 at 47-46. The Cuse has pulled away from that point with 4.5 minutes to go.
And the Cuse running some clock here, running it down to 15. Watch for the one-on-one for Fair or Ennis off a ball screen.
Grant. Wow. Up and under.
Now you see why Syracuse has to have Grant. His back has to hold up for the Cuse to go far in the tournament.
30-second timeout.
Leonard Hamilton has called a timeout. Jeremy Grant, 10 points in the second half and 16 in total, and a timeout for the Noles. Well, the 2014 legend of the ACC for Florida State is Al Thornton. He played from 03 to 07. Led the ACC in scoring in 07, close to 20 points per game. Runner-up for the Player of the Year and a first-team all-conference selection. They could certainly use his production in the waning moments of this one against Syracuse.
Well, Tom, it's a 13-point game, 4 to go. Still enough time left, although it will be difficult for Florida State. I would look for the Seminoles to start pressing and trapping. They only have 14 fouls, so they can gamble without putting Syracuse on the foul line. Again, they still need to be somewhat patient versus the zone on the offensive end. They just can't come down and jack shots up. But they got to make it happen defensively. There's still time to get good shots, but the defensive turnovers are going to be key if they can get them from Syracuse.
Inside of 4 minutes to go, this 13-point lead, the largest of the game for the Orange. Miller tied up in midair. But there was a foul against the Cuse. It is by Musakeda. Free throws coming for the Noles. Syracuse, Tyler Ennis and Trevor Cooney. As a matter of fact, as a team, Syracuse leads the ACC over 8 steals per game. That is our Haviland defensive shield.
Well, and the nice thing, too, Tom, when you steal it out front of a 2-3 zone, you get 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, you get easy baskets. That's what 2-3 zones are about. Steal it, you should be on your way to an easy layup and a score.
Syracuse with those 8 steals. They are also doing great work on the boards. 40 rebounds today for the Cuse. Out-rebounding Florida State by 18. Miller at the line for the Noles.
Well, again, Florida State only 14 fouls. You know they're going to come out pressing. Syracuse, though, a very good ball handling team. Smart. Should be prepared with their press offense for the Florida State press.
14 points for Ian Miller. That includes 2 3-point baskets for the senior. Grant, Christmas.
Throw right over the top of the zone. One from the backcourt to the front court. They get numbers and they just throw it right up to Christmas. Nice pass from Grant. That's small forward to big forward on the assist.
Thomas. Foul going up.
Well, you know Florida State's going to press. They throw it over the top to Grant. He throws it over the top to Christmas, who's back in with 4 fouls. If a team presses, Tom, you must take it through. And when you have that kind of advantage, the numbers in your favor, you should attack the basket for a lob or an easy layup. If the numbers are not there, pull it back out, run some clock, put the ball in Ennis's hands or Fair's hands, and you're in great shape if you're Syracuse.
14 points now for Aaron Thomas, 6 of 6 from the free throw line as well.
No numbers, pull out, run clock, and then they've got some outstanding one-on-one players to score at the end of the clock.
Cooney will take his time. The clock goes inside of 3 minutes to go. In the Tucker Center in Tallahassee, Florida, the first ever meeting between these two teams in this facility. Tyler Ennis with the touch.
And that's called execution. Time and score, taking the clock down. Even if they miss, it was a great possession. Scoring just adds on to how good it was.
First points of the second half for Ennis, who now has 14. Wojciechowski misses. Fair the rebound.
First basket of the second half, but in my view, he's controlled the game for Syracuse. The guy just can run a team.
Ennis again. Christmas the offensive glass, and a fresh shot clock for the Orange. And now 2 minutes to go in the game.
Syracuse number 3 in Atlantic Coast Conference games on the free throw line, so a tough team to come back from.
The ball was put in play. Christmas dunked it.
I think Florida State might have thought it was their ball. Or they forgot which basket they were defending, one or the other.
So that's now 12 points for Rakeem Christmas. Keep in mind, during the course of the second half, Florida State had cut this lead of Syracuse down to 1 as Miller drives and scores. It was 47-46. Syracuse went on an 18-6 run after that. Trying to work that clock. Final minute. Cooney. Christmas back out to Fair. Second 3 of the game for C.J. Fair, and 22 points. And that leads everybody.
Well, the last 3 possessions using the time, the score, and the 35-second shot clock for Syracuse have been absolutely perfect.
So the Orange will go to Greensboro next week as the number 2 seed. Virginia locked up the number 1 seed last week by defeating this Orange team, which has come to Tallahassee. And for the first time, these 2 meetings in this building, it will be the Syracuse Orange winning the game. First meeting since '97 will go to Syracuse as the final seconds tick off. And that'll do it. 74-58. You've been watching exclusive coverage of the ACC basketball on the ACC Network and exclusive
image. We want that image to stick.
I'm always introducing myself. I'm always handing out cards.
Vistaprint allows business owners to more effectively and affordably promote their business.
The fact that we use Vistaprint to put our name out in the community in everything that we do just goes to show the level of confidence that we have in Vistaprint.
The easy-to-use tools Enter promo code TV250.
The second best free throw shooting team in the A-Sun.